Hey folks, Daedread here again from Big Dork Energy. If you know anything about this channel, you know that we aren't exactly pros by any means. Perpetual noobs to the end, as it were. Anyways, with all the G.T.F.O we've been playing lately, I had a bit of an idea to help new players who need just a push in the right direction. One of the best aspects of G.T.F.O is hitting a wall and having to rethink your strategy. But let's face it, sometimes we hit that wall and just can't get past it. That's where we come in, for when you've exhausted your options and need that little nudge. Now, with Rundown 7, A1 is fairly straightforward and riddled with checkpoints. Not a crazy array of enemies, etc. So, for now, we're just going to start with B1. If you find this helpful, let us know, as we'll be continuing these guides through C1, D1, and maybe go on from there. And make sure to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think, or if you have any questions for us. We'll try our best to answer as best we can. If I were to describe the difference between A1 and B1, A1 is a child's first bike ride with mom or dad, training wheels are on, and I mean, you could fall off, but most likely you'll get back up. Maybe a bruise or a scrape, but you're fine. And you get right back on there, and everybody has a good time. It lulls you into a false sense of security that you've got this. This time, however, your mission will be to escort the neonate HSU to the end. But really, just make sure to grab it after you've cleared a room. Something to note, and this applies to any heavy carry item, so objective items, power cells, the neonate, collection cases, etc. Do not hold them during security scans or checkpoint doors. While there is a workaround, if you do get stuck, it will still set you back. Just kind of a pain in the ass. B1, the difficulty much better reflects what you will come to expect from this game. The hypothetical parent has hypothetically removed the goddamn training wheels, thrown you on a downhill track, strapped on a hypothetical motor, and kicks you off to start plummeting to your hypothetical doom. Thanks for coming out, champ, it's been real. Seriously, it's a really fun difficulty spike, and let me just tell you, it gets better from here too. You start by dropping into a room with a couple of cylinders. Usually easily dispatched, followed by a large, we'll call it a hub room, the first of two in this mission. Once you clear the sleepers in here, you will find 3 doors in the east, north, and west. East door is where you need to go, but upon reaching it, you'll find out you need a key. So head on back to the terminal you passed, query the key, and it will be revealed it is behind either the west or north door. Both of which, you guessed it, or saw when you approached, are locked behind a level 3 alarm. It's a pretty simple one though, as you know the enemies will not be coming from either of the other security doors. It leaves the big and small door that lead to the room dropped into. If it's the north door, you can get away with just shoring up defenses on the big door, as that is where your waves are most likely going to focus. If it's the west, they may come through the small door. Either way, if you've got turrets, set them up. If you've got mines and foam, you can use them to make the process incredibly easy. If you have mines, always make sure to mine both doors. Worst case, they come through both, and you take it a bunch at once on 2 separate fronts. Best case, they focus on one door, and you grab the unused mine after. There's really no loss here. If you combine the turrets, mines, and seafoam, you should in some cases be able to clear this room without firing a single shot, or close to at least. Before anything though, like any other time you hit a terminal with some unexplored rooms around, make sure to at least type list space res space zone underscore whatever the zone is. I'm a firm believer in looting the shit out of every room if you can, as it will help you stay alive later. Why not? So, using a combination of your tools, you've made short work of this alarm. It's time to grab that key and move forward. The room with the key, as far as I know, will have a scout wandering around. If you've never stealthed a scout before, today's a good day to learn. Scouts are alerted by one of three things: another alerted sleeper, an attack that doesn't kill them, and of course their terrifying little feelers, the creepy bastards. They are not responsive to sound or lights, so you can move around them as you wish as long as you don't touch them. The best strategy is to be patient. Isolate them from other enemies so you don't have to worry about waking the room or calling a wave, and just give them a swift kick to the head with either the spear or the hammer. If you're using the bat or the knife, it is possible, but you have to hit a specific weak spot. Whereas with the spear and the hammer, it's just a hit to the head. Makes it much easier. The key shouldn't be too hard to find after you've taken out what you need to in this room. So take it over to its respective door and plug it in. You'll have another room to clear beyond the key door, containing most likely a scout and some sleepers. Take them out as you please. Be careful, as there may be some sizable clusters of enemies, so stealth may become a non-option. In which case, I'm sure you know what to do. Blast them. Eventually, you'll reach a checkpoint door, leading to the second pub room. As you enter from the west, there are three doors, this time in the north, east, and south. The south is an alarm door that requires power. The north is another checkpoint door that requires a collection case. And the east is a small room which, after you query the cell, you will find contains the power cell to open the southern alarm door. So after clearing and looting this room, head east. You will soon be in the possession of a handy dandy power cell, and bing bang boom, you can power the alarm door. Now, this one's going to be a little tougher as there's more levels to the alarm and you'll have enemies coming from both sides, including big guys. You can mine or foam the doors leading into that west room you came from, giving you a slight advantage, and if you go with that strat, I would recommend throwing your turret or turrets on both sides to create a hindrance at both doors, buying you a little extra time. But once again, this one's going to be a little tough. After the initial full group circle, it's going to break into small, scattered mini circles. So I recommend the buddy system. Pairs of two tackling the first and second floor respectively, and converging back into a team after the alarm is finished. After the dust settles, you'll be heading into the alarm door you just cleared. The next area contains the collection case that goes into that square slot on the north side of this hub room. To get it, you will most likely have to make your way through some scouts and a fair amount of regular sleepers. Pretty straightforward, though finding the case in here can be a pain. There should be a terminal in here to ping the collection case and save yourself time and stress though. Once you're done here, head to that checkpoint door we were just talking about, and now you're in the home stretch. You'll have some options here, depending on if you want some extra loot. It all kind of depends on how you're doing resource wise. Of the 5 adjoined rooms here, you only really need to get through 3, and those would be the center 3 heading north. The first 2 should be mostly normal sleepers, while the northernmost will typically have 1 or 2 big guys sleeping. Anytime I've run Expedition B1, these guys have been separated and somewhat simple to take out, but obviously if they're too close together, you might not be able to use stealth the whole time. If it's the first scenario, and you've never stealthed a big sleeper before, the concept is pretty simple. Get the whole band together in smackdown distance. Charge full attacks, and release them on a slight delay to each other, targeting its head, crotch, ass, upper thighs, limbs. As soon as your hit lands, start charging another, as you'll need to hit him again. You have to keep it stun locked until it goes down. Be careful to aim up in a way that if you miss, you don't hit the ground or the wall, just so you don't alert any other sleepers nearby. I'm sure there's other ways to accomplish the same thing, but we found this to be pretty effective and it gets the job done, so why not? So whether you clear just these 3 rooms or all 5 of them, you'll come to yet another alarm door. This is the second last one. You're almost there. Unfortunately, this room does have 4 separate entrances, so it can be a pain in the ass to hold. On the plus side, you may get lucky, like us, and the enemies will come mostly from the same door. It's going to be that one on the southwest of the room. Either way, that door is priority, so make sure if you've got mines and foam to throw them on that door at the very least. A turret on the opposite side of that door wouldn't hurt either, but it's up to you how you want to handle it. The alarms scatter all over this oddly shaped room and will have you traveling in every which way, so be careful of friendly fire. Keep on top of the shooters and strikers, and focus fire on big ones when you need to. Big ones are a one shot to the head with snipers. They are also vulnerable to stagger if you blow off one of their limbs, so aim for their arms and their legs and do enough damage to stop them in their tracks, and then they're easy to take down. Once that's all sorted, you'll be ready to pass into the room. The final room, that is. So grab the objective and bring it in here. You'll have under a dozen sleepers to clear in this room, which consists of a long bridge, causeway, leading to the final door, and a side room containing a machine with a conveyor belt. I wonder what we're chucking in there. Now, before you yeet the child through the machine, clear the room and loot everything you can. As you can guess, there's going to be a fight coming. Save your mines and foam, as it's just a wave of flying spaghetti monsters. A high caliber turret could be handy here, but the burst turret you'll want to save for later. After dispatching those really flying bastards, the neonate will have emerged from the other side of the machine, having been partially unwrapped. Ugh. Place the baby a few meters away from the final security door so as to have it ready but not activate the glitch when you hit the scan. Next, it's time to use up any supplies you can and prepare for the final stand. This one can be tricky, but there's a few things we learned over the course of running it a few times due to untimely deaths. First, place mines closer to the main entrance than to either of the walkways to the machine. You'll see why after the scan starts. Second, if you've got foam, it might help to sprinkle the door and in front of any mines to get enemies to stack up before activating them. Burst turrets can be utilized to further stagger enemies at the entrance and slow them down to help mines. When you activate the alarm, it's going to start moving, but you only need one person in it to progress the scan. It does not increase the speed to have more people in it. But, by all means, it might help to have a second person just to escort and as backup if the other goes down. But the rest of the team, whether it's 2 or 3, have one mission. Hold the bridge at all costs. If you're doing a good job, the person on scan won't see many enemies, if any, till the end when they re-emerge on the bridge. Which of course is why we position mines out of the way. When they pop out, make sure to watch your fire and get ready because extraction is mere moments away. When the scan finishes, stack up on the door and try to eliminate any enemies currently on you. 1 or 2 team members should be able to proceed through the door stealthily immediately after it opens, to start picking off as many of the sleepers in here as possible. You're going to have to go loud pretty quickly, but best save as much ammo as possible for the extraction scan that is dead ahead. Get to the extraction point and hold off the remaining enemies, now joined by more flying vagina monsters. It might get a little hairy, but if you've got enough supply, it shouldn't be too difficult. Wait desperately for that timer to finish, and boom, you've done it. B1 down. Congratulations. Hopefully, given scheduling with releases and recording, we'll have another guide coming in the near future for C1, which will make this expedition look like a cakewalk. By the way, what the hell is a cakewalk, and what makes it so easy? Anyway, keep an eye out for the next guide, and thank you so much for watching. Check the video on the bottom left of the screen to watch our run of B1, and maybe see how yours compares. Once again, I'm Nitro, and this is Big Dork Energy, and we hope to see you next time.